quorum here.
Yep, I'm still looking, and I'll let you know as soon as I get it.
There's Ann. Hey, Ann, good afternoon.
Hello.
I love your blouse.
You.
Well, friends in Harney County were getting snow this morning. Same in Roseburg. They canceled school in Roseburg. I heard from colleagues at the foundation. I was able to walk my kiddos to school today, and the sun is shining bright. Susie, what's the weather like where you are?
We had snow this morning. The mountain is foggy and bad, but it's clearing up. So
Beautiful. Well, I think we're all ready for spring. Quorum has been established. We'll call today's meeting to order. It's 12:31 p.m. Before we jump right into business, I wanted to just pause for a moment and offer just a reflection. This week, Oregon lost a great leader. Patsy Richards passed away. And her friends on Rise Partnership said it so beautifully, that the world is a better place because of Patsy's work and a lesser one because of her absence. She will be missed terribly. So I'd just like to offer a moment of silence for you all to reflect on how she touched your life, maybe the lives of those that you work with. It's just a sad loss for Oregon this week. And with gratitude, I'm glad that you are all here. Todd, I'm going to pass it over to you to get us started this afternoon.
Yeah, thank for that moment of silence, Kaylin. I really appreciate that. Patsy was an amazing person and a friend, and she did a lot for workforce and other spaces around the state in education and training. Just a wonderful person. So thanks. Yeah, moving on. I don't know if Andrew's going to be able to join us. I thought he'd be in by now. That said, I did talk with him earlier, and I think we've got sort of three pieces of business just to take you back where we were when we last met. If you weren't there, we did go over the RFP. We did not get any comments when we went over it in our previous public meeting, nor did we receive any comments or feedback when we emailed it out. We did promise that we would connect with Marin Areola and make sure that he had the opportunity with himself and through his network to weigh in, which he did. And I can share my screen real quick in terms of the RFP and show you the language. Then we have two other pieces of business that we want to take care of, as you might remember, and that is to approve the amended charter, and then lastly, endorse and adopt the WTDB agreements. So I'll share my screen real quickly and show you the language that we added to the draft RFP that you saw in our last meeting. It is the highlighted area, particularly this piece right here. So the goal of the RFP is to enhance the effectiveness, efficiency, accessibility, and impact of WorkSource Oregon in achieving desired economic outcomes for job seekers and employers in the state, and to ensure equitable access, engagement, and service delivery for all Oregonians. As a follow-up to that, Andrew and I just wanted to, there's Andrew. Hi, Andrew. Andrew and I just had talked previously a few minutes ago how we just wanted to share also that what we'll do as the contract comes into play and we begin to meet with the contractor from the outset, we'll make sure that in the kickoff meeting and throughout the entire development and completion of the 2024 KIC assessment, that we carry the important pieces that Marin has shared with us around that second sentence on equitable access, engagement, and service delivery, because it really is about taking what we've learned in previous assessments, what we learned in this assessment, with front and center an eye to equity, diversity, inclusion, and racial justice. So we'll make sure that we lean into that as co-staff and help you all as we go through that process in those efforts as well. So I don't know if you wanted to add anything, Andrew. If not, I could toss it back to Kaylin, and you could go for asking for a motion.
Thumbs up, Andrew. All right, that sounds good. Well, first, is there any discussion? I think that's what we'll open the floor for discussion. No, great.
It looks like Debbie
Oh,
Rady has a
Debbie.
question.
We go. Todd, when you talk about equity and inclusion in this scope of this work, and given that we're very diverse across the entire state, in terms of needs, you know, that surround that topic, does that play into this at all? Are they looking at the various regions and the types of people that live and work and need services specifically to that region?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think that's right on, Debbie, and I would say
Okay.
yes. I think it's diversity, equity, inclusion in as broad of a sense as possible, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of the system, in terms of geography, in terms of just about anything you can think of that pops up on disaggregated data lists, I think, and then some would apply. I don't know what Andrew's thoughts are, but I think it's pretty much all encompassing the way that I'm looking at it. Is that sort of sum it up for you too, Andrew?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the broader diversity definition that includes urban, rural, music color, all of that.
The other question that I haven't raised before, but we're talking about urban and rural and all of that a little bit, and there's some work going on here in Eastern Oregon to include broadband to many of the communities that don't have that. And so is that part of this as well, to at least point out, you know, that there is some challenges that can help support the broadband work that might be going on in the communities where they don't have equal access? As we talked about at one of our last meetings, you know, it might be 40 miles to get to a work source center, but if you don't have, I mean, I actually had someone tell me about a month ago that they were still using dial-up. So I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, yeah.
I just forgot to mention that before, and I keep thinking about it after I get off the call, so.
Yeah, I think that's right, Debbie. And I think I would envision, that would be embedded in a recommendation. What are things that would make this a more accessible and successful system, considering the circumstances? And actually, Todd and I talked about broadband. I mean, that's an emerging need. It's clearly out there. And the hope would be whoever responds to this would say, hey, if you want to better serve people in this part of the state, you need to really focus on making sure that broadband is accessible and fully available across this region of the state. So yeah, we talked a lot about that.
And Andrew and Debbie, that also provides the inclusion and accommodation through technology. Through disabilities, you have to look through that lens as well. So through all populations and all circumstances, how do we accommodate? How do we bring equity? And how do we make that fair across the state of Oregon?
and I'll just throw one more in there in case is transportation. Because again, in our community, we've been working on for about 8 or longer years to have some kind of public transportation, as that does limit various people from getting into the workforce in a significant way, as well as childcare. So just kind of, I'm assuming all those things are part of this when we talk about equity inclusion, because those are barriers.
Thank
No,
you
that's
so
really
much,
good,
Debbie.
Debbie. And I'm sorry, Caitlin, I was just going to add, I think this is a good example of why we think it's so important as we schedule out the meetings in 2024 to have you all as part of a quote unquote work group as we kick off the assessment with the contractor, and then come back on a regular basis to weigh in, share your thoughts, inform, critique, and make recommendations as it is developed, Debbie. So yeah, I really appreciate you raising those questions.
All right, great discussion. Is there a motion to approve the revised 2024 KIC assessment RFP?
So moved.
Thank you, Anne. Second.
I'll second this, Brent.
Thank you so much, Brent. Any, let's see here. Any opposed or wishing to abstain? Excellent. Motion carries. Thank you. Todd, did you want to say anything about the KIC charter? And real quickly, you're muted.
Sorry, for the record, that was the first time for today. Sydney, could you pull up the charter that we used last time?
Yeah, it'll take a sec.
Okay, sorry, I should have done that. So this is it. If you could scroll down, just as a reminder, the change that we made is, you probably remember, was to make sure that we provided an opportunity to broaden the scope beyond just the public workforce system in the event that other topics and interests and curiosity around issues and opportunities, and for you in particular as members, we're interested in bringing to the table. So the first highlighted end of that paragraph, it was about making sure the date was correct and was in alignment with Senate Bill 623. And then the second paragraph calls out what I just said in terms of information being brought for evaluation and review by this committee. So I think that's it, Kaylin. Unless folks have comments or questions, we could move to a motion.
Can I get a thumbs up if we're ready, folks? Or excellent. I'll entertain a motion to approve the revised KIC charter.
So moved.
Thank you so much, Anne. Is there a second?
Second, vote.
Thank you, Craig. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Or wishing to abstain? Motion carries. Thanks so much. Todd, rolling right on into the WTDB agreements.
Yes, that is just an instant replay of previous meeting as well. We showed you the agreements with the acronym of WTDB that I think Sydney has probably about ready to come up as well, just as a quick review. I think there was energy in our last meeting to adopt those. And so here they are, quickly or collaboratively. be transparent and trusting in our interactions with each other, make sure we use data to drive our decision makings, and being bold and innovative in the work that we do together. So again, I would say, in respect for time and getting done here in the 15 minutes, that we could send it back over to you, Kaylin, to check for any comments and then motion to approve.
All right, any discussion? Makes me want to put my hand in the middle and do like we're in this together. So I really like it. I appreciate the alignment too. Is there a motion to approve the WTDB agreements as presented?
So moved.
Thank you so much, Anne. Is there a second?
Second, Craig.
Thank you so much, Craig. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any wishing to abstain? Excellent. Motion carries. What a productive meeting. Folks, we're at time. It's 12:46 p.m. We'll adjourn today's meeting. Thank you, everyone, for making this a priority. Excited to see how things move forward. Woohoo! We can do a little team cheer if you want to. All right. Take care, all. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Thanks,
thanks, everybody.
Caitlin. Thanks.